My 2 children were desperately pressing me into the water. No matter how hard I struggled, they refused to loosen their grip at all, because this wasn't to harm me, it was to save my life. As the strength of my resistance grew weaker and weaker, I soon stopped moving. Seeing this, my 2 children quickly dragged me onto the shore and began performing emergency CPR. At this moment, they had to wake me up again. Only then could we survive this disaster. It turned out that just 1 week earlier, a global blackout had caused panic everywhere. Although 1 day later, people gradually restored order, they discovered that everyone had lost the ability to sleep. I worked as a security guard in a hospital and was the first to realize the seriousness of the problem. So I immediately asked someone to help me buy some sleeping pills. But I learned that not only had the price of sleeping pills skyrocketed, they also could no longer make people fall asleep. Even anesthetics had lost their effect. After learning about the situation, I decided to bring my 2 children back to my side first, and then figure out a way to solve the insomnia problem. That night when we got home, my family immediately tried to sleep. After 3 hours, none of us could fall asleep. Only my daughter could still sleep. In order to find out the reason, I went to see my friend in the military. But my friend said he was very busy now. Since people had lost the ability to sleep, they had to sort through all kinds of data, hoping to find a solution. Because if this insomnia problem couldn't be eased, most people wouldn't survive more than 7 days. Fortunately, the military had now found one person who could still sleep normally. If they could figure her out, perhaps they could find a way to cure insomnia. Hearing this, I felt puzzled. My daughter was sleeping. You sure? Joe, they're setting up a whole station based on this one sleeper. That's how big of a deal she is. You sure your daughter was sleeping? But my friend's words immediately reminded me that my daughter's situation was extremely dangerous. Once discovered, she would definitely be sent into a laboratory for research. So I immediately ran madly home. But after entering the house, I found that my daughter was gone. After asking my son, I learned that their grandmother, in order to benefit all humankind, had taken my little girl to the church. At this moment, the grandmother had already asked the priest to lull her to sleep and treated my little girl as a gift from God. However, when other believers who could no longer bear the sleeplessness saw this, they forced the priest to sacrifice my daughter to God, hoping that God would grant them the ability to sleep again.